Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the Shade Tree. Hey, listen, it's looked like a stormy day, and I don't want to get struck by lightning, waiting on the horn to go off here. But I want to go ahead and get this video in because let me tell you what, people, I have been so excited, working with my wife and my editor, to get my book. Um, Shade Tree Pros top down stack and shift golf swing. To go with my top down swing system and philosophy. I've just been absolutely loving it. And I've been telling people, and I want you all to check in the description box because there's things that I do like to say that, the biggest thing about top down is that because we don't have a comparison in the industry that we don't know whether it's ground up, top down, whatever. Before you can do real science, you have to be able to break something down to see if there is a difference. Because as I kind of say, there is a difference between, where we kick with our feet and we throw with our hands. And those actions are different. So if I'm coming from the ground up, and I've never told anybody you can't, I just think that coming from top down is a much simpler way because it focuses more towards what's absolutely swinging a golf club. And as I said before, I don't think no one's ever really broken down a difference between the two, which what I have in my top down swing system and philosophy. So now that as I write this book, it gets me back to being able to say, okay, I've accepted top down, and so there's really no, I don't tell people there's really no reason to debate the subject on that regard because it's not really debatable because you can make a swing from the top down. If I stood here like this and just went like that, that's swinging from the top down in a sense, and then you can make one to where you jump up and do all that. You can do that if you want. So the thing is, or the true debate is developing the information to define what is there really a difference between the movements? And I have been able to discover that there are. And more importantly, when you understand the difference between the two, that means the biomechanics people and all there, you can't get stuck on what you think. You got to do the work and see if, like I said, if there is a difference. If someone comes up with an argument for it, then hey, your job in a sense is not to tell the individual is wrong, but to make a strong case for the fact that it could be acceptable or whatever, because everything that we do pretty much, you almost say it in science, it's just what we do or it's accepted until something better comes along. Now, my lesson for the day, people, is going to be short irons. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm watching people, and maybe it's because we got so bombarded by hitting it distance. And I remember Ben Hogan said something, I read a quote that Ben Hogan said, he don't care about being the longest as much as he care about being the straightest. So there was a time when I first started playing golf, we always had, when we set up to the ball, when we was with short irons, scoring irons, we would set up with our body open, basically just swing down the line. And then as the clubs got longer, eventually we start closing our stance to where we was almost somewhat closed with the driver. And that kind of stopped us from, hitting the big slices and all that. And with the closed stance, you can. But as you all know, as I talked about the shoulder girdle and how the scapulas align in a sense that the swinging of, or the scapulas, those are always going to be open, just because of anatomically how they are structured when we take a grip and we take an address position. But the body cavity, that's a different story. We can open and close the body cavity. So when we was hitting short irons, for an example, and I'm gonna stand this way and still try to talk loud because I don't have my mic with me. When this is a 9-iron, so we would set with our body open to the target line, and then what we would do, in essence, is just make a swing along that body line, and that's more with the lead arm, and then swing down the line. Now we would set there because with a scoring iron in your hand, you're not trying to make a big, full, aggressive swing. But now, for some reason, now we're getting up here and we're trying to hit 9-iron, 190 yards. And I think that just takes away from the everyday person who's trying to get back to, or just being able to play some decent golf with some scoring. I mean, these things are designed to go a certain distance. Now, when you bend this 9-iron to a 7-iron, then of course you're going to hit it, crazy like that. But let's get back to the basics of what we used to do and how we used to do it to score. And not so worried about the numbers and worried more or less about the conditions that we're creating. So like I said, here's my 9-iron. Setting up here, my body cavity is open. Body cavity, which is everything here, open. I know everybody see, I'm not worried about trying to clear this out of the way because I'm already open to the target. And then all of a sudden, all I do is take that in me, scap up, or as I say, stack and shift, and hit it. And then, let's say for an example, because I used to always go 7-iron, pitching wedge, sand wedge, pitching wedge, 9-iron. All of those used to be pretty much the same. And of my body open and even the 8-iron, I would set up here, a little open, swing it, take it up, swing along my body line. And there was not a lot of over aggressiveness with the lower body, that really is the only thing that can really take the swing offline, unless you just really make something, do a big old stupid casting and all that stuff. And then as the clubs got longer, let me see here. This is my 7-iron. Now, once I start getting towards my 7-iron, depending on what it is that I was doing, my 7-iron, I probably would start turning my body in a little bit longer. a little bit closed more, but still yet open, because Harvey Penikin said that the 7-iron is really the first club that we actually start making a full swing. And, and sometimes, if you saw Tin Cup, you could hood a 7-iron down, putt with it, do some, and you could put some distance on it if you need it. But once again, going back to Ben Hogan's quote, even with a 7-iron, that's really a scoring iron, and you're really trying to get some good control. So the thing is, always good ball location, good setup, good grip, good takeaway, good swing, all defined off the anatomical ends when we set up. And then, like I said, with my new book that I'm gonna have coming out, hopefully we definitely gonna have it by winter. There's no question about that. But I'm trying to get it by towards the end of fall. That would be perfect. But that's going to depend on the editor and which direction I go, whether I have to self-publish or I get a publisher. That's going to take another stance, but we definitely going to have it. But when I get here, now I just make my stack and shift swing. And see, now I don't have to fight my body to try to clear room, to do all of that, because now when my body cavity, the body cavity from the head all the way down to the feet, as I said in my book, this is the middle body. When I take and open up the middle body, then I am able to just make a swing, and my arms will naturally flow, bend, whatever they need to do without the compensation. That's another reason that I say that's really hurting a lot of people in this game is when they're laying these clubs down. See what's happening, they're squaring up the shoulders and they're really tightening the swing. And the thing is, what we're trying to open and close is the body cavity, not the shoulder. Shoulder girdle is a separate entity from the body cavity, only connected at the collarbones. So what we're trying to do is either close the body cavity or open the body cavity so we can make a swing. Now, the more we get to make it a full swing, then the more we're going to start closing, the body cavity, because once again, as I said, anatomically, the shoulders are all the shoulders or the scapulas, they're going to always be open because the way they sit anatomically or the way they align anatomically. So all you have to do is understand exactly what you're doing and why you are doing it. And that's why I said you got to be careful when you lay those sticks down. They will get you in a lot of trouble. Now, if you're going to lay them down, make sure you lay them down the right way. And for those people who truly got to feel like they got to use them, if you take a short iron, learn how to put it on this angle, and then that's the body cavity, and then learn how to be able to swing the body down the line of the body cavity to keep that ball in control. So, people, let's get back to some of the basics of how we hit short irons to be able, once again, like Hogan said, not to see how far we can hit them, but once again, to be able to create a score, to hit them as straight as we possibly can to a defined target. People, I hope this works for you. I hope it start giving you some clarity to get back to making a golf swing or developing a golf swing for you to be able to create, always to create a score. You know, once again, like I said, I'm hoping that my book, I have everything done. Remember, that book is the Shadetree Pros Top Down Stack and Shift, and it is coming, and it is a great book, and it's got me excited about what I'm going to be able to teach you all about that book. That's going to make it so simple, and you already know that top down is already as simple as it gets. Now I'm going to put you and let you see all the defining actions that I've put together to make the top down stack and shift golf swing as simple as it possibly can, and maybe the best swing philosophy that's out there. Hey, this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'll keep giving you updates of when that book is going to be available. And like I said, we're going to have some fun with it. Charles Calhoun, aka the Shadetree Pro. You know how I do it, baby. Always good golfing.